March 22nd, 2018. In dreams, I saw that I was on a plane, and there were some people who were there, and for some reason, something urged me to tell them to get out, because I knew for some reason that a great danger would soon arise there. So people began to look at me with indifference, and they followed their daily courses without further concern. But I continued exerting until I reached a semi-mountain. From there I saw the plain, and suddenly I began to see how the sea began to rise, and I could see the entire plain full of water, and the sea continued to cover ground and began to go up to that semi-plain where I was. I was there with a young man at that time and an adult. Then that young man was so scared that he got inside a very large structure that was there, that when I began to see the structure well, I saw that it was a church. He closed his doors very quickly, thinking that the water was not going to enter it. But yes, the water began to enter under the door of this church. So, me and the other adult who was there, we fought with all might until we could open the door. So I started to tell him to come out. But to my amazement, when I entered there, not only was this young man there, but there were other young people who were there. So the brother who was with me helped me, and we began to lead them almost by hand to the mountain, up, almost pushing them like that with each other. Then we began to climb and climb until we reached a safe place. There we cried out for the people of the plain, but their fate had already been cast. Everything was underwater. There in the mountains we began our field activities. There we felt safe. We saw that everything was calm, but every time we looked at the plain, we were distressed. And at the same time, we thanked God for delivering us from such a sinister event. Then at that moment I woke up. My heart was quite agitated by what I had dreamed at that moment. And at that moment, I was given 3 verses that I want to share with you. Isaiah chapter 9, verse 8. Then Isaiah chapter 8, verse 9 to 22. And then Isaiah chapter 24, verse 8. At that moment, dear brothers, my heart almost wanted to stop, but thank the Lord, because when reading these verses, God gave me peace of mind and to be able to realize that really following God's plan is the most wonderful thing that can happen to each person. God grant that each one of the listeners can follow God's plan, drawn up for eternity and from eternity. For each one of us, may the Lord bless you all.